of a warrior so powerful, he literally threatened the fabric of the cosmos. Picture the dust, the deafening roars, and the blood-soaked plains of the ancient Mahabharata war. That's where our story begins. But the crazy part? His presence is still felt by millions of people today. Meet the mighty warrior Barbarika. 1 minute. To really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this guy, I want you to picture the buildup to the Mahabharata war. Before a single arrow was fired, Lord Krishna goes around asking the absolute greatest warriors of the age, legends you know like Bhima, Drona, Karna, Arjuna. He asks them, hey, how long would it take you to win this war single-handedly? Their estimates were hovering around 20 to 30 days. But then you have Barbarika. When Krishna asks him the exact same question, he makes this staggering claim. He says he could end the entire 18-day war, completely wiping out the opposing side, in exactly 1 minute. Literally 60 seconds. So right away, you've got to wonder, who exactly is this guy, and how on earth could he back up a claim like that? Well, Barbarika had an absolutely terrifying warrior lineage. We're talking elite tier. He was the grandson of the mighty Pandava Bhima and the forest queen Hidembi. His dad was the great Rakshasa warrior Ghatotkacha, and his mom was a princess tied to the Serpent Kings. The ancient texts actually say he was born with hair like a lion's mane, which just gives him this incredibly fearsome, wild vibe right from day one. He was trained by his mother, did some intense penance to please the gods, and honestly, he wasn't just a regular soldier. He was basically an apex predator designed to be the ultimate weapon. He had the kind of reputation that made the greatest kings sweat before he even stepped foot onto a battlefield. The power of the 3 arrows, or Teen Baan. Here's the thing. Barbarika didn't need some massive armory. He earned the title Teen Baan Dhari, meaning the bearer of 3 arrows, which were actually gifted to him by Lord Shiva himself. Let's break down how terrifyingly efficient these magical arrows were. Step 1. He fires the first arrow, and it zips across the battlefield, marking every single target he wants to destroy. Step 2. The second arrow marks everything he wants to save. And Step 3. The third arrow instantly annihilates all those marked targets from the first step, and then just neatly returns to his quiver. It's basically an ancient divine weapon of mass destruction with absolute pinpoint accuracy. I will join the side of the party which will ultimately be losing. Despite having this apocalyptic level of power, Barbarika was raised to be super noble. Before heading out to witness the Great War, he asked his mom for permission. She said yes, but with one massive condition. Bound by this deep sense of fairness, Barbarika swore a solemn oath to her. He would only fight for the losing side. Because of this vow, he earned the eternal title Hare Kasahara, which means the savior of the defeated. And look, it sounds incredibly noble, right? But as we're about to see, this was a wildly dangerous promise to make. If he joins the losing side, won't they instantly become the winning side? That is the massive problem right there. Lord Krishna, being the ultimate divine strategist, immediately spots the paradox in Barbarika's vow. Think about it. If Barbarika joins the weaker army, say the Pandavas, his unbelievable power instantly starts crushing the Kauravas. Within seconds, the Kauravas become the weaker side. But wait, bound by his vow, Barbarika now has to switch sides and fight for the Kauravas, meaning he starts destroying the Pandavas. Then he has to switch back. It's a total logical nightmare. This shifting allegiance would cause an unending cycle of death, swinging back and forth like a pendulum until literally every single soldier on that battlefield was dead. In the end, only Barbarika would be left standing. The people tree test. Krishna knew he absolutely had to put a stop to this. So he disguises himself as a simple Brahmin and intercepts Barbarika, who's riding in on this magnificent blue horse toward the battlefield. Krishna plays dumb and playfully challenges the young warrior's boast about ending the whole war in a minute. To test him, Krishna points to a massive peepal tree right above them and says, "All right, pierce every single leaf on that tree with just 1 arrow." Barbarika, radiating total confidence, is like, "Sure thing," and readies his bow. The hovering arrow. So right before Barbarika lets the arrow fly, Krishna secretly plucks 1 leaf from the giant tree and hides it under his foot. Barbarika fires. The arrow just zips through the air, completely blurring as it pierces every single leaf on the tree. But then it doesn't return to the quiver. Instead, it flies down and just hovers menacingly right over the Brahmin's foot. Barbarika immediately realizes what's happening. He politely asks the Brahmin to move his foot, explaining that the arrow is trying to mark a hidden leaf, and honestly, it will pierce right through his foot to get to it if it has to. The absolute infallibility of this weapon was proven, without a shadow of a doubt. the supreme sacrifice. With the terrifying reality of Barbarika's power now fully confirmed, Krishna drops the disguise and reveals his true divine form. He explains the catastrophic, universe-ending consequences of that vow to join the losing side. Realizing what's at stake, Krishna asks Barbarika for a donation, the ultimate guru dakshina. He asks for Barbarika's head. And here's the truly incredible part. Without a single moment of hesitation, showing just unimaginable selflessness and devotion, Barbarika agrees. But he does have one final, really poignant request. He had traveled all this way, and he desperately wanted to actually watch the great Mahabharata war unfold.
Barbarik, the muse of the subaltern and the marginal to the Mahabharata. Now, if we take a fascinating academic pivot and look at a study from the Anasandan Valari journal, we get to view Barbarika through a very different lens. In the critical, classical edition of Vyasa's Mahabharata, Barbarika isn't even in there. He is completely erased from the elite classical texts. Why is that? Well, scholars argue it's essentially the politics of memory. Barbarika was a demi-human, part Rakshasa, operating totally outside the strict caste and royal hierarchies of the elite warriors. He represents an alternate society based on humanity and justice rather than just pure bloodline. But here's the beautiful part. While the elite texts might have pushed him out of view, the marginalized folk traditions and texts like the Skanda Purana, they kept the memory of this ultimate hero alive. They never forgot the warrior who stood for the defeated.
The silent witness on the hill. Jumping back into our ancient scene, Krishna actually grants Barbarika's dying wish. He places his severed head right atop a high hill overlooking the vast sweeping plains of Kurukshetra. Just try to imagine the sheer, visceral scale of this actual scene. For 18 agonizing days, he watched millions of soldiers clash in the dust. He heard the splintering of the chariots, the deafening roar of war elephants, and he watched the absolute greatest warriors of the age fall, one by one. He was the ultimate, impartial observer to the epic carnage, literally taking in every single detail of the greatest war in human history. Post-war perspectives. So when the war finally ends, the victorious Pandavas are just bloated with pride. They start fiercely arguing amongst themselves. Who was the greatest warrior? Who got the most kills? Who was truly responsible for this massive victory? Krishna, wanting to humble them a bit, suggests they go ask Barbarika. After all, he's the only person who had an objective, bird's-eye view of the entire war. When they ask the severed head, Barbarika's answer just shatters their arrogance. He tells them, I didn't see Arjuna's arrows. I didn't see Bhima's mace. He said, I only saw Krishna's Sudarshana Chakra destroying everyone, and Mahakali annihilating the forces of Adharma. Barbarika had this profound cosmic realization that all these human warriors were just instruments. The divine was orchestrating absolutely everything. In Kaliyuga, you shall be worshipped as Shyam. Your devotees will receive my blessings through you. Lord Krishna was deeply moved by Barbarika's immense sacrifice, his totally unwavering devotion, and that profound cosmic wisdom. So he bestows upon him the ultimate blessing. He tells Barbarika that his sacrifice will never ever be forgotten. Krishna says, in Kali Yuga you shall be worshipped as Shyam, my own name. Anyone who calls your name with devotion shall have their wishes fulfilled. He essentially grants him immortality, completely cementing his role, not as a terrifying warrior of destruction, but as a deity of ultimate compassion. The god of Kaliyuga today. Fast forward to the present age, Kaliyuga. Barbarika is worshipped today as Khatu Shyamji. If you travel to the Sikar district of Rajasthan during the Falgun month, you will witness an absolutely incredible, actual scene. We are talking about a sea of millions of devotees. Picture these endless lines of people walking barefoot in padyatras, the air just vibrant with thousands of waving saffron flags for the Nushani Yatra, and the ground literally shaking with the chants of Harika Sahara, Baba Shyam Hamara. They show up in these numbers because they see him as the god of Kaliyuga, the ultimate savior who listens to those who have lost all hope. Who truly holds the greatest power? The one who can destroy the world in a minute, or the one who sacrifices everything for it? Barbarika's journey is just wild. He went from being a terrifying weapon of mass destruction, a guy capable of annihilating the globe in 60 seconds, to becoming the ultimate symbol of selflessness and mercy. And I think it leaves us with a really provocative thought to carry with us today. Think about it. Who truly holds the greatest power? Is it the one who has the sheer physical might to destroy the world in a single minute? Or is it the one who has the spiritual strength to sacrifice absolutely everything?